Dude, have you had truffle chips? Oh, they're so good.
Truffle chips.
Like truffle fries? Are these like British? Like, are you talking about just like mushroom fries?
Now,
Truffle
is
chips?
this like?
No.
Is
They're
it
just
like
normal
a
potato chips
flavored chips?
with truffle flavor? Yeah.
There's like
Ooh,
truffle oil
okay.
on them.
All right.
Back to the program. So yeah, we got Kazo. He's the host. We got Ray. He's good at Dragon Ball Fighters. Bah! We got Bad Rice. He says, "Hey." Bah! We got Thicc Churro. He plays Commander and nothing else. Bah! How about from here? I play a children's card game. Sometimes Valorant. Bah! We're good to go.
One thing I do want to show you guys, and because I can't show you physically, but this is for for everybody really.
Okay.
I got a new playmat.
Oh, let's go.
For those who don't know, a playmat is basically a big mouse pad. They put your magic cards on, so you don't scuff them up because they're expensive and shit.
Is it Jujutsu Kaisen related? Demon Slayer related?
It's not. It is not Jujutsu Kaisen related.
Oh!
Oh, nice.
Nice.
No, that's
Some
awesome.
DBZ, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Kefla.
Shout out to Kefla fans out there, to the viewers watching us here. So, as we got that speed round intro, so now I will be passing it off to Offbeat here to let this whole train ride go. Let's go.
Yes, we are talking about anime today. I believe the week before last week. I know, right? Who would have thought? This podcast, I want anime. We're so about 2 weeks ago, I believe we did a little segment on mistakes that video games keep making that they just gotta stop doing. It was pretty fun. We all had a blast, but now we're gonna rehash it again because we're unoriginal and we're just out of ideas. So we're doing anime mistakes this time. Whoa, who saw that coming? I sure didn't. A shocker for everybody. So we're talking about the shit that anime just keeps doing that we're just tired of seeing. Is it the lollies? Is it the fan service? Is it the powering up for 5 episodes? Who knows? We're gonna find out right here, right now. We're gonna start with Kazo.
Oh shoot! Mistakes, animes, pretty much. The fact that I don't like going through. Oh, actually, I don't like putting this on a map, but excessive fillers.
Okay.
As a big one for me.
So you don't like One Piece.
I never watched. I'll be honest. I never watched One Piece.
I
never watched One Piece. I'll be honest with you. No.
But you watch Naruto though.
Yeah.
That's infamous for fillings.
You guys heard of Robo Naruto?
Mecha Naruto.
Oh, there's so much of those too. Actually, when I tried to introduce my girlfriend to that too, we actually predominantly skip most of the fillers. Just to watch the whole main one, right?
When I watched Bleach,
yeah.
I followed a guide that specifically said which episodes were fillers, so I just skipped them. Because there's a fucking bit where Ichigo is fighting Ukiura, and there's a big climax, there's a big cliffhanger, or I think it's right before he fights him, and then there's a season-long filler.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember
that. Oh my
god,
yes. It is the stupidest shit. It's right before a big event. They've been jerking you off to this event for the past whole season. And
man.
Okay, filler time. And holy shit, I was not there for it. I was what the fuck is this?
Was that when the Zanpac Toes rebelled or some shit like that? Yeah.
That's right.
Which isn't interesting arc. It's fun, but it was right before a huge plot point and a major battle.
I honestly don't remember it being right before the fight.
Right before the fight.
It is a cool plot point though.
He walks up and he's in the place and Ukiura's there and they're gonna throw down and then it's filler episode.
Yep.
And then that goes on for 20, 30 episodes.
A lot of shonen animes are pretty crazy for those things, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's one of the things.
Now, Kazo,
what's up?
Now, is it good fillers or bad fillers?
Or just all fillers?
Or all fillers?
Because
there's some good ones.
There are some good fillers.
There are some, yeah, for sure. I I can't condone all the things when people want the backstory of a character that they want to recognize. But if it just prolongs to the point where it just becomes its own arc, then what am I watching this for, right?
Name a good filler.
You
Go ahead. Name a good filler moment. Go ahead.
Okay, I know I was just
Um,
on Bleach and their fillers, but there was a filler where they had like soul vampires. I liked that one. I thought it was fun.
That was like 15 episodes worth, actually.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
the first. It was like one of the first major fillers, and they had
Yeah.
fucking like soul vampires. I thought they were sick. They had, like mosquitoes and shit.
They
Korea?
were kind of cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
they were fun.
Nice. But I mean, aside from all things considered, I mean, like with the excess of fillers, I mean, you have. That's the thing. That's my number one pick, though, for sure.
Like though, you don't like any fillers?
Certainly certain ones would definitely be good though, but like for the majority of things, it's you could literally just fast forward and then just go straight to the meat of like what you need to watch.
I
though.
mean, that's
Obviously,
what a filler is,
that's
right?
that's basically the majority of things. Baruto would be like the biggest one for me to the point where it's like it just overextends a lot of things. Which at this point, the only time I get to hear an update will be when Bad Rice tells me when there's an update. So far, I haven't heard anything back from him, so I'm assuming there's nothing going on. That's my filler right there.
How do you feel about the like standalone like kind of movie fillers, where it's like a movie but it's like a filler? Does that fall into like fillers suck, or is that something?
I would generally consider it as like its own thing into itself. I mean, like it has its own branch, right? Of like, because it's a movie. It's like it's nothing like whether it's canon or non-canon. It's meant to like provide some sort of like leeway, like some sort of backstory, not like a 10-minute or maybe like a 24-minute worth of like flashbacks. It's like or recaps. I remember one of those certain like animes those where they do a recap of the full season when you're like, it's like, shit, I already watched that already. Come on now, why do I need a replay on that, man? That's the thing. And,
Wait, so you're saying you hate recap episodes too?
well, like I remember.
I mean, I'll say it.
Yeah. I'm kind of not digging
I hate
that
'em.
personally.
I absolutely do hate them
Like,
too.
remember they
Like-
had. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Like recap episodes are fine, you know, if you want to watch them. It's been a while since the anime came
Wait.
out. Sure, but when they take an episode out of the season, that's garbage, dude.
Not with it.
Looking at you, Boku no Hero.
Like they do a full recap and then
Literally every season there's a recap episode, and it's garbage.
I mean, this is a show for babies, okay? This is a baby show. Well, they gotta every
Like, how bad are people's memories in Japan? You know, like,
I mean, kids have bad memories. I don't know.
I guess so. Well, then they put them through like school for 12 hours a day or some shit.
Do you say kids have bad memories? Come on,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Like, think about it for a second. Why the fuck do I remember the entire Bount arc from fucking goddamn...
The Bounce. Those were the
Bleach.
vampires.
Yes, I know. As soon as you said soul vampires, I'm like, I remember Karya. I remember fucking the Bounce. I remember the fucking storylines. Fuck this shit. And you're gonna tell me kids have bad memories? Fuck you. No, kids have great memories. You're just adding more fucking bullshit to it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Like,
my
fuck,
God.
if you can't remember fucking anime and you need to watch a recap episode, don't watch that anime. It's too complicated for you. Go watch Boku no Hero.
Where there is still a recap episode, by the way. Fucking.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't
honestly, it's dumb, but it's fine because the people who watch that anime are literally like barely breathing because you gotta make amenities for them.
Yeah. But I mean, of all things considered, I guess one thing that like grinds my gears. Yes, fillers, and that's final for me. That's the thing I really don't like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty fair like take there. I mean, even the word filler, right? Like nobody wants filler. You don't want to buy like a milkshake when it has filler in it. You're like, what the fuck is this? You want to buy like a burger patty, and yeah, it's like you said filler. Fuck that shit.
You want that filler sauce? It's like, no, I'm allergic to
Yeah,
that.
that's also filler sauce. Filler, I hardly know her, but anyway. We're gonna pass off to Thicc Churro. What do you think? What do you just
What's
run
the-
with?
I, honest to God, I think my biggest pet peeve in anime,
Ooh.
despite fillers and despite recaps, my biggest pet peeve in anime, it's not the fan service,
Oh.
actually, but it is,
No one thought you were gonna say that, dude.
right? No one did. I know. I'm aware, but I at least wanted to believe it, Maybe somebody was gonna throw the shock face, the shock Pikachu face.
Yeah.
But no, the biggest pet peeve is for me. It's the comedy breaks. They happen too quick. For like whenever there's like a really really emotional episode, and then they just like shit on it with like really cheap comedy.
Do you have an example, by any chance?
Yeah.
Fuck. I didn't know I had to think of examples.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't put you. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I'm not really sure what you mean.
You're not really sure what I mean.
How about
Yeah.
like, would you say like the Jujutsu Kaisen, like the ending ones, like those type of comedic sort of skits, like at the end of those?
Oh
Like,
hell
yeah.
no! You better not start on those off with me, dude.
No, I'm just I'm asking
no,
Thicc
no,
Churro about
no.
this.
No, that's not what I mean. It's like when somebody, is explaining like a grave situation, and then you have that one guy, you have that one character that makes a fucking
Mineta.
joke.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mineta.
That makes a joke. And
Mineta.
the character or like somebody gets injured and they're in the hospital, but somebody still cracks a joke, and it's just like it's that tension break
Right.
that just kind of bugs me. I can't think of any examples though off of the top of my head.
How about like
Unfortunately.
My Hero Academia, like the Mineta character? Like, would you consider that?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, a lot of shonens are very bad for this. When like the characters are in danger, and then the protagonists have very exaggerated responses, like we're gonna die, and it's like, well, that just removes any kind of stakes in this scene,
Yeah.
It just removes any kind of anxiety that they were trying to build up to, and that bothers me. So yes, Mineta in Boku no Hero, when the school gets attacked, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Boku no Hero, when
No.
the school gets attacked for the
Oh, he's like, don't
the
say.
first time too. And Mineta and the frog
Suyu.
girl,
Suyu.
yeah, Suyu, and
Midoriya.
thank you. Those
You
characters,
need recap episodes, my dude.
it's because I don't watch them. That's why.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But when they're in the boat together and they're coming up with the plan, and then Mineta's all like panicking and like crying, it's so over the top. It just removes any real like emotion from the scene. Right? It's just it just removes any heaviness, any heftiness to it. It just bothers me. Like I know it's for young adults in Japan, but I don't know. I wish shows would be a little more serious sometimes.
Nice, I like it.
This guy hates comedy. No
I-
comedy. Right?
No laughing aloud.
No laughing. Only serious anime for adults here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna branch off from Churro's thing.
Oh.
The thing that I don't like about anime that they see something. It's kind of hard to define, but I always call it stupid anime bullshit. It encompasses just some weird, stupid shit that they put in the show that, maybe it's just like the overuse of like tropes that just like get me, or when the show just tries to be too smart for itself. So for example,
Okay.
unfortunately, my favorite anime of all time, Code Geass, is a pretty big offender of some stupid anime bullshit.
Oh no.
Where in the second season, there is a couple of really weird and not great episodes, probably honestly the worst episodes in the entire series, where they like try to get really smart and philosophical with like the Geass. Spoiler, by the way, I guess. But if you haven't seen Code Geass by now, what do you do? Anyway, yeah, they try to get really smart and philosophical with the like Geass shit, where he has to go and like face his dad in some weird god realm, and his like mom is there, and there's like humanity is all entwined in this fucking place. Like it's just so weird, and it comes out of left field completely, out of this what is a like almost political drama of like outsmarting your opponent, and like there's wars going on. And it goes on like this weird like super magical tangent, which I mean I get the show is about a dude with a magic eye that can control people's minds and shit, which is magic, but it was just like too much for me.
Oh wow.
Another example is in Attack on Titan season 1. I was super into that show when I like first I was like, fuck yeah, this show is sick. Everyone is dying. This is the Game of Thrones of anime. I am ready for it.
Okay.
And there's the bit where Armin is getting nommed by a fucking Titan. I'm like, damn, they're gonna kill the like main character's best friend off. This is sick. And then Eren throws himself in instead of like, holy shit, this show's gonna kill off the main character. I am here for it. Like, god damn, this is awesome. And then of course the stupid anime bullshit happens where nope, he's got superpowers. He's just the gifted one. He can do whatever he wants. He just fucking turns into a Titan because, I mean, there's the stupid, the dumb anime bullshit popping up again. It's just.
I get it. I do get it. But I don't know if that specific example is any good.
Is it? I mean, I haven't watched the rest of Attack on Titan because I was so just like turned off by that. I was like, oh, this is like any other anime. You know, we got the main character. He has the fucking power of the.
You actually got scarred for life from that?
What was that? You
Yeah, like, sorry, he's like you got scarred up. Sorry, it stopped you from watching just because of that.
I got scared out. Like, oh, this is like any other anime, you know? Like,
oh man,
see, the problem is,
like, okay, another example. Sword Art Online, a classic example where it is ripe for stupid anime.
Absolutely, yeah, it is. Holy shit, dude! Are you like, okay? You're gonna tell me that a character in a realistic world, by the way, world, can just take their left arm and grab a fucking sword and wield 2 fucking weapons? No, it has to be the chosen one. Like,
no, dude,
what
it's not
the
even
fuck?
that. It's not even that.
Okay, that for me is like one of the stupid
like,
ones.
That's pretty bad. But I mean, at the ending of the Aincrad arc, right?
Oh my god.
He fucking like God modes his way out and like kills the guy.
Yeah.
And then they both survive somehow. Him and Oscar are like, oh, you know, it's fine, whatever. I guess we'll just live. No big deal. Not to mention in like fucking the like fairy arc when he's like, oh, we gotta fight this
dude, wait, go back for a second. I
thought, let's go.
Okay, yes, it's bad enough that he went God mode to kill him, but you know what's even worse? The guy that created this fucking universe, his reason, I forgot. That's it. That's all they give you.
It gets even worse.
I forgot
something there.
Like
he specifically thought Kirito was going to be the one who was going to pretty much complete the game. So homie, instead of just making a game where Kirito can fucking play, decides he needs to kill people so that Kirito understands he has to play the game like super badass and loner like. He pretty much designed this shit for Kirito, which is why Kirito got the world seed in the very end of fucking Sword Art. It's actually dumber than you think.
It's just, it's so. I mean, like Sword Art Online is like a super big offender for like stupid anime bullshit.
Yeah, it's the worst anime in existence.
It's just when shows in general, I guess, take it just like a step too far.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
like, you know, I can live with Kirito being a fucking shonen god and being the chosen one with the dual swords and this and that. But I mean, at the end, the fucking creator of the game gets like god moded out. Like, dude, he is god mode. Like, what?
Alright.
Like beat him with like cool moves and shit.
Yeah.
Not with this garbage.
He beat him with power of willpower.
Yeah, just willpower in like a fucking video game. You know, it's not like and like when you like break it down, it's just his mind sending instructions to like the game, right? It's not like he's actually in it. He's just like operating it like a fucking VR headset. But you can't move your arms and legs. And you're telling me that somehow his brain thought so hard that he was able to like hack the game. That is like, oh, the game code's like, wow, this guy's really thinking real hard. Yeah. I mean the
and they're like all like, oh, love transpires the logic of games. It's like,
yeah, the Sword Art movie is also super bad for that. Where like the part of the movie which I thought was really cool, right, was that like Sword Art Online has moved to like augmented reality. It's in the real world now, right? So now your real world physique matters. And Kirito's a fucking nerd and he's out of shape and he can't do shit. And they explicitly show us how bad he is. You know, like Asuka's fit. She's running around, she's fucking shit up. Kirito's tripping, he's fumbling, he's doing whatever. We see him like fuck up and he loses to some dude who has like a super soldier microchip in his brain or some bullshit. Which is also some dumb anime bullshit. I mean, it gets eclipsed by the rest of the movie. And then there's like a fucking montage where he just tries really hard, and then after that he has a rematch with this super cyborg and like whoops his ass. I'm like, dude, the guy's not only fit, but he's also like a cyborg, and we're supposed to believe this that they can win. Like, come on.
I just want to take a moment here to address chat and saying when dead characters don't stay dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to give a big shout out to my boy Reggie, because like as we know, that's one of his like his biggest like killers for an anime. Is if resurrection is a thing, then it's just like no, right?
Yeah, think of some dumb reason for them to come back.
Right. Like resurrection, I think for the most part is like whatever. But it's when a show makes you believe that they died, like died. Like they're like, that's it, no coming back from this one.
Yeah.
But then they do. Then it's a pretty big one, and I guess that would be like under dumb anime bullshit.
Yeah, it's just like when they take it like a step too far. Like, where like you're like suspension of like disbelief just gets ruined, I guess.
And like
the
let's
show's fine. Why do you take that extra little bit? Because now you've ruined it.
Oof.
And I mean, let's call it spade to spade. Everybody here, well, not everybody, but most of us here really like Dragon Ball. But let's be real, like they are pretty big offenders of dumb anime bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dragon Balls are like they're like a dumb anime bullshitinator, you know? They're just like, what dumb bullshit can we pull with the Dragon Balls? And then, I know you haven't seen it, Derek, but the way Goku gets Ultra Instinct is he gets his Henkidama, his Spirit Ball.
Yeah.
He throws it at an enemy, and the enemy throws it back at him, and he gets swallowed up by this energy.
Yeah, he like sucks it up or something.
Yeah, that carbonized Boo, by the way, fucking carbonized one of the most powerful villains in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And he just somehow survives. Like, they don't even explain how. It's not even like, oh, he took the energy. No, he somehow survived. And he's now Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, Dragon Ball's pretty bad. I watched, because a while back, I wanted to try to get back into Dragon Ball a little bit. So I watched the movie where Goku fights like a Golden Frieza.
Nice.
Right? And I remember at the end, I can't remember exactly what happens because it was just all kind of a blur. There's some bullshit there with like Goku like doing some time travel shit where he like went so fast he went back to the past to like fix some shit that he broke. Maybe he's a Dragon Balls. I don't know. But I was like, wow, this movie was pretty neat. But then it just like dumb anime bullshitted the last like 20 minutes.
I never saw the movies for Battle of the Gods or Golden or Resurrection said, but I do know that in the anime it makes a little more sense where like the angel assigned to Universe 7 is the one that rewinds time.
Okay. Sure.
Right?
I mean,
so that makes sense, but
so anyway, that's my like thing. Just like
Nice.
know where your anime is. Don't like if you can push the boundary, but don't push it so fucking hard that you break the wall. You know?
yeah.
Oh.
To be fair though, it's kind of hard to say where the boundaries are with Dragon Ball. Like that's one of the most like forgiving, and I think like that's the most biggest offenders of like stupid anime bullshit. But that's also the one that you can tolerate it the most because they've established things like
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, where it's just like stupid anime bullshit is gonna happen.
Yeah, and this does seem to be a like anime exclusive thing. 'Cause I know like probably I mean a big one for you, Churro, is probably Persona 5. It's got some real dumb anime bullshit at the very end, where you had a very reasonable story of some high school kids, you know, slowly taking down more and more powerful adults by using their fucking special powers, and then they fight God at the end.
Yeah, and then they fight God. Like,
And that's some stupid anime bullshit, 100%, because it's totally out of left field. Like, no one saw that coming. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, sure, why not? I guess. Right? It was like, oh, you know, they like beat their like principal, and they beat like a local mob boss, and then they beat a like corporate conglomerate, and then they beat like the president or whatever. And you're like, okay, this is a natural progression. And it's like, okay, now fight God, and you're like, oh.
Shoot.
So that's, I don't know, that's it for me.
Can you name what's above the president?
God, clearly, according to
God,
Persona
dude.
5.
You got me there. I guess it's just a really, you know, I guess this is just the like staircase where they didn't measure the last step properly, so it's like an extra large one. So like walking up normally, unless you go, oh fuck, you know, you can still walk up it. It's just surprising. But with that, I will pass it off to Ray.
Oh,
Ray,
before
what
we
do you think
continue on before Ray continues on, Barbara redeemed. Jeez, I didn't even realize I still have it on for.
20 push-ups, man.
Yep.
Is-
Okay, let's see it.
is-
20 push-ups
is
right
Is
now.
that all right?
We're
Should we
watching.
just place? All right. Hold on.
See
Go
it.
on, go ahead. We're gonna watch
Yeah,
you.
let's see him.
Let's do it.
I'm not gonna talk over it.
We're
Aye, aye.
counting out here.
We'll let Ray get started here.
But yeah, okay, guys, wait. Before you do that, I'm gonna redeem 20 more push-ups. And I'm gonna redeem
There it is.
20 more push-ups.
Oh,
And I'm gonna
dang.
redeem 20 more
His
push-ups.
face, did you guys see his face?
Are you serious? Okay,
Wait, hold on, Gerard, hold on. How many is that?
let's.
60, 80 push-ups.
You know this is gonna be long, right?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
we'll talk over you, don't worry.
Alright,
You do
Ray,
your
better
push-ups
have
in
a
the back.
long one. We need a long one for you, because I mean, Gerard's gonna be on the floor for a while.
All right,
Yeah.
start doing those push-ups.
You guys still gonna be talking, right? Like,
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
just
ahead.
keep it-
Just do your push-ups.
yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget to hydrate.
Go ahead, Ray.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Check,
Alright,
check,
Ray.
check and count.
Yeah, he can count.
Yeah.
Check and count.
Check and count.
Yeah, so for me, my biggest pet peeve is in anime is really stupid people. Like,
Oh, you
I
think
don't
the
mean
dumb
like they're
character?
stupid. Like, I don't mean like stupid character by design. Like, they put them there for a specific stupid reason. But like, when they make an anime that has everybody really stupid,
Oh.
and I'm not I'm not talking like, you know, an anime that's like based for like kids to like learn something, but I mean like a full grown adult anime that just has stupid people, period. And by one of the animes that I still have a big pet peeve about this, the anime called Sentuin Haken Shimasu, or also known as Combatants Will Be Dispatched. It's like
Wait,
I've
I
talked
heard
about
about this.
before.
Let's see it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
actually
about,
on the watch list.
yeah, it's about this this guy who's like, he's supposed to be like an evil agent that that's like, and they send him off to like a different planet to like take over.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like, whole point of the whole thing is that as soon as he gets there, like, aside from a cyborg that's like, the cyborg isn't actually like, they consider her smart, but she's not trying to be super smart. But then the smartest guy out of the whole planet they're trying to take over is the guy that's trying to take over, and this guy is like dumb as a rock, like literally dumb as a rock. Like, it's hitting like every single trope. Like, oh well, why don't we just do this? And then for some odd reason it all works out, and it's not even that hard to like think about it. Like the plot hole was like very straightforward, but everybody else just seemed to make it like such a big thing, and you're just like, you just start thinking, it's like, who actually makes an anime like this that, like, unless I don't know, like your brain average is like 0.0 point average, like I don't really understand it at all.
Alright, if you took out all of what you just said and complained about, is this anime good after that?
Heck no, I don't even consider it anime.
Why do you watch it?
I don't even consider it garbage anime. That's how bad I find it.
It's below garbage.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty much.
I feel like I'm gonna have to disagree actually. 'Cause I think when it's done well, you know, it can work. I mean, if you've seen Konosuba, all 4 main characters are dumbasses, and that's kind of the point of the show, right? That they're all like idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's kind of the like charm, right? It's like seeing like how could they possibly pull this off? Because they're all stupid and they're constantly getting like into like trouble because of their own stupidity. Not one of them is like a redeemably smart character. They're all just like,
Well, they're dumb, but they're dumb in certain ways. Like, you know, Kazuma is just like dumb in the way that he acts socially. But he's not like a completely dumb guy. He's kind of like the straight man of the group, right?
yeah.
Now my question is though, is that in that anime were they all dumb by design?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's legit just dumb. Like literally designed to be a dumb character.
Yeah.
Like stupid.
But
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
got,
talking
like,
about is that
fucking
in
Megumi.
this anime that I was just talking about, like everybody is dumb, and I mean like it. There's no point for them to actually be like that.
Right.
Alright,
Like,
so you're
they
just
just-
saying that like having a dumb character in a serious story or a dumb character that doesn't fit is bad, right?
Like a dumb character that like like a dumb character. Why are they there in the first place? Like they were not put there by design.
In a serious story, right? Of course.
Yeah, like in this one, it's a very like. Would you consider it a serious story? I guess so. Like you're a one person trying to take over the world, this distant world where you know like, technically like they got like magic. Some of them aren't like they have swords and whatnot, and you're trying to take over with like guns and stuff. But like the whole point of it is that like everybody is just that stupid. And I don't know how to like. I can't even explain how stupid like everybody is. It's just like the plot is just too simple, or the whole anime that
Like
even they couldn't figure it out.
I think from what I'm getting is that the solution to the problem, you know, an idiot could figure it out, but these guys are taking, you know, like incredible
Idiot to the next level.
Yeah, they're taking idiot to the next level.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Where
Okay.
They're like frustratingly dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like how could anybody not figure this out? Like it's just like press the button.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because like another guilty pleasure of mine, which I feel like most characters are also like dumb by dumb by design, is a show called Love Lab, which is about a bunch of high school girls who try to figure out how to get boys to like them. It is a fun comedy romp, and yes, they're all just really stupid. You know, they have all these fantasies of how to like attract boys and how to get them to like you and stuff. And they're all and some characters are like acting like they know, but they're also just clueless. And it makes it for it makes for just like really fun really fun dynamics, just because they're if they weren't dumb, there wouldn't be a show, right? It's about them trying these like stupid ideas to figure out how to get so and so to ask them out or something, right?
Right, but that's by design, right?
Yeah.
I think where Ray
It
was
feels like
like,
that this show
Yeah.
is just bad that you're talking about, not necessarily because the characters are dumb. Maybe it's just a terrible show.
It
Maybe.
sounds like a terrible show because
Yeah.
I mean,
he
like,
always said to himself, he doesn't even
I
consider
will-
it trash anime. That's how bad this show is. So, like, if you can't even consider it trash anime, like, at that point, like, it's not even really worth your time, and it's also just like, it's clearly that the show is just poorly written, right?
Yeah.
I will say this to back up like my boy Ray here, and in Goblin Slayer, his companions are very fucking stupid because they're like one of my biggest problems is that is the fact that they stop him from using what this man has already used. Like, he is the Goblin Slayer. He knows how to kill goblins, right? But then these characters are like, you can't do that because it's gross, or it's like you can't kill like goblin children, or you can't use fire against them. It's like, well, no, like, let the man do his fucking thing.
Let him do his job.
Yeah, he's the fucking Goblin Slayer. What the fuck do you have to say about goblin slaying? You know? But I get it.
Yeah. No, I understand. Maybe it's just more when like the show itself is like dumb, and then you have dumb characters like also in it, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you question like what is even the point?
Yeah.
And finally, we're gonna go to Bad Rice. I saved you for last because I feel like you might have a hot take for us.
Nah, I got a pretty simple one.
Okay.
It's a nice simple distaste for steaks. And what I
Steaks?
mean is
Steaks.
Like
when the stakes are, non-existent,
Okay.
and like we were saying, Dragon Ball, big offender of many issues, but definitely, there's no stakes, there's no, danger of dying. Like I feel like if your show, likes to play with the theme that your characters can die, well, they should actually die, or there should be moments where they'll actually die. Like, I hate when an anime preserves his characters, and Boku no Hero is definitely one of those fucking shows. Like, there's so many goddamn situations where it's like, yo, you see this fucking, like, one student that no one even knows the name of? Like, let's just kill that guy. Like, there's literally a dude who gyrates limbs. Like, what the fuck is the point of that shit? Just kill that character off during, like, a fucking school raid or some shit, right? And it just this weird preservation of all these, like, unique characters just disgusts me. It's like a sign of weakness to me as looking at these, like, anime, like, writers and creators, like, this unwillingness to just cut your character off. Like, how much fucking time do you put in? You probably thought about it when you're fucking taking a shit on the toilet, and you thought, I should make a character named Mineta who, like, who has, like, really sticky fucking shit. Actually, you know what? I'll put it on his fucking head. That's what I'll do. Like, this is like, it's an actual waste of my time when an anime is not willing to, like, put danger in front of you. And, like, I actually don't even hate Resurrection that much because, I think you can do Resurrection in a lot of ways, and you gotta kind of draw a line here and there.
Yeah.
But, for example, like, Jujutsu Kaisen, it kills Yuji. We're like, oh, fuck, yeah, Yuji's gone. But then, he comes back and all that other shit. Spoiler alert. But to me, like, that wasn't that bad. I don't think that was what took it away, because there was still, like, danger, right? Like, these curses will kill your characters, and, like, there's an underlying risk. And to my knowledge, it should, like, given how many tears I saw in the Jujutsu Kaisen subreddit following the manga, I think we're going to be very pleasantly surprised and happy with that result. But at the moment, like, I just hate, like, when an anime just doesn't have, like, danger.
Right.
Actual danger. The characters never actually put in risk.
Right.
Risky situations. There's always a Deus Ex bullshit to save them.
I agree with that.
Stupid anime bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. the source of all problems. I've already figured it.
I mean,
Well,
like
technically, that hits on every head, right? Like,
it
stupid
really-
anime bullshit covers a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the whole like putting men in danger, having stakes, like it really. I don't want to say there isn't an anime because there probably is, but a good majority of the animes just don't kill their characters.
Yeah.
Period. Right?
Which is
like
why some of them suck.
even our favorite anime, Steins Gate. In the end, it didn't kill any of the characters.
Yeah, but like, to be fair, that wasn't like meant to be like. There was that risk, there was that danger, and I'm actually gonna have to correct you. It did kill characters.
Oh.
It did, 100%
they
kill
correct-
characters.
They corrected it in the end, so
Yeah,
no
yeah,
one
but like they
really
still
died.
killed them in the
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
show.
worked like into the plot of the show in a way that makes sense. I think that's excusable because, like, yes,
It's-
technically
yeah, it's-
they're not dead, but
Yeah, right.
they had a
Like,
reasonable
another-
way to explain why they weren't dead.
Like another example like that I can say like of a good, like they didn't kill their characters, but they were willing to kill characters, is Demon Slayer. Like you saw
Right.
Demon Slayer, there are
Right.
all these fucking little head boys getting their fucking head, like walking around with spider legs. You got all this other shit. You got people getting cut in half. Like
Yeah.
you need that sense of danger. Without that, what the fuck is the point?
Right.
Do American comics have this problem? A lot of characters come back to life all the time. That's a resurrection problem, not my issue. I don't think it's a big deal. I do like it though. I do think American comics do have that problem, and that's why Invincible shines so brightly.
Yep,
in our
yep.
books.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, no, in that same vein, yeah, I'm okay if the stakes aren't very high. What I'm not okay with is when they like try to like trick you, into like
They are.
thinking that the stakes are high when they're actually
Right.
not high. Like with Promised Neverland, they really set you up thinking that the stakes are super high. First episode, dead kid. You're like, damn, this is fucked up.
Right.
But as you watch the show more and more, you're like, oh, there's actually zero stakes here because no one is getting caught. No one dies. People that you think die come back. Like it's
Yeah.
it's more that makes me mad. Like the premise of the show is on the stakes, and they're like, oh, like look out, it's so dangerous. But I mean, they never actually pull that trigger. So
Yeah.
I mean, I will like excuse them for like not having big stakes if they're upfront about it. If they try to like trick me, then I'm oh my god.
If anybody out there is like, well, like you guys are talking about the animes that are doing the wrong, which anime does the right? If you want an anime that's not afraid to kill the characters, has fantastic action and a good story, Fate Zero is out there. I'm just saying.
Fate
It's
Zero?
25
Fate Zero
episodes.
does kill characters.
Holy shit, does it ever?
But would I call it a great story? I think it's a decent story. It's passable.
It's a good story. I said good
You know,
story.
to each their own.
Yeah, well, you're right to be wrong.
You're allowed to be incorrect.
I don't know, man. I think I've watched it more than you have in the last 3 years. You said?
Damn,
All right.
challenging.
Yeah, I'm rewatching it actually.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you still see the problems when you get to them.
All right.
But anyway,
Okay then.
Moving on. So branching off of this, we talked about the things that anime's been doing wrong. We're not going to talk about something that anime has done right, or I guess anime, video games, live action, or whatever. We're gonna talk about the actors behind the voices. Something that we're seeing more and more is proper representation of actual people playing culturally reflective characters. I believe the most recent story, I can't remember exactly. Kazo, do you want to take over from here? There was a recent game that I believe
So,
inspired this discussion.
I mean, it's been out for quite some time in terms of it's not like it's brand new to the fact nuances, especially people want to be represented faithfully. The one I was talking about is because Guilty Gear Strive is coming out. The new game coming out in a couple weeks from now.
Yes.
The thing about that is Japanese. It's basically done by a Japanese company to itself. They have Japanese voices and they also have English voices. So the one who does this character, Ramlethal, she's pretty much it's a fictional character, obviously, and this character overall has like a sort of like has that sort of black sort of color, like I mean black skin race.
You can just say
looking.
they're
Mulatto.
African, dude.
Okay,
Just
okay.
say
okay.
they're
I'm trying to say like, Murano, yeah, but the one who's voicing her is like Caucasian, and she's like, I want to dip out of this because I feel like this is not correct. This should be done by a black woman. So pretty much you have people be like, "Oh, good on you." The other one is like, what the heck, dude? Is you're playing? You're not. This isn't live action. You know, this is like.
So you're getting essentially you're seeing two sides reflecting on the decision of an actress, a voice actress, to kind of resign from a role because it doesn't culturally represent the character, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So the question is what do you guys think about that? Do you think all characters should be probably represented by their whoever cult that they represent, or do you think it doesn't matter? Like who gives a shit? Who's like voicing the character behind the like scenes, right? Ray, what are you? You're a like pretty big fighting game. Do you play like Guilty Gear? What's your take on this?
Well, in terms of like fighting game characters and whatnot, first of all, I do believe that like everybody needs like proper cultural representation, just because everybody needs to get recognized, right? The only thing that I would disagree in regard to that is that if the person being said to be chosen is really bad at doing voice acting.
Right.
You know, now in terms of
more for what they represent than their like acting ability.
Yeah, like if we're gonna have like proper like representation, like they need to be able to do it well, right? Because they're representing not only their culture, but they're also representing themselves to be in that whole group of like voice actors. Mind you, like we've had a lot of like great shows that's like in anime that's been done by like white actors, and they're really good at what they do. Like now, does it really concern whether they're voicing a character that's Japanese or whatnot? No, because the voice acting is great. It matches with everything, and they sound really good with the feeling and everything, and like. But as long as they do it right, you know what I mean? Like if they have like a African American voice actor and they're voicing like they're voicing like a like let's say a white character.
Yeah.
If they do it right, like should it really matter? To me, I think as long as they're doing it well. But if they're they're only doing that because to represent the culture, but then they do such a horrible job at it, then it kind of ruins the whole like mystique of like the show or video game or whatever. And one of the things that's like a really great one for me, in terms of like example of like bad voice acting, is now mind you don't necessarily hear a lot of like Asian American actors back then voicing English like in English, but Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai X, and I'm talking about like the TV series, right? Like they had a whole like this is a very traditional Japanese era, and you should like when you're hearing English, like you'd sort of expect like okay, like they speak like traditionally Japanese, or in even in an English sense, you'd at least want them to talk like properly. But instead they gave like a whole bunch of characters with like really really messed up sense. Like you have the what do you call it? they have the restaurant owner sounding like a Texan, and it's like it's medieval Japan. Like, where would you have a person sound like a Texan? Like I understand if they're like, oh, like they're it's because of their accent, they're from a different village, but I would understand it if they sound like the person from that village. But no, they gave this person like a completely Texan accent, and you're like, you cannot go and mistake it for like a Japanese person with like a different, like in a different state with like their own accent. No, it just really, really bad.
I got a counterpoint to that. So in Japan, there's actually a dialect known as the Kansai dialect, and it's meant to be a very slovenly, kind of sluggish kind of dialect. It tends to slur its words, has really, very specific,
bumpkin.
Essentially a country bumpkin kind of dialect, of course.
Okay.
And you can apply that to an anime, and some popular Kansai dialects, for example, is Haikyuu. You have Mia Atsumu and Sumu and Samu. They both have Kansai dialects, and they're meant to be very. The best way I can put it is country, yeah. Now, how do you represent that when you bring it over to English voice acting? And when you do that, you can sometimes, just not do anything about it. But how do you represent, this country accent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, in that sense, why don't you, use a country, like a very, hillbilly-like accent to represent that Kansai dialect to a degree? It's impossible to do direct translations, of course, at the very end of the day. And this is why subs are superior, no offense. But yeah, like I don't think it's necessarily like a complete disgrace for a game company to add a Texan dialect to, or a Texan accent to a character, so long as there's a driving reason. If there's no driving reason, then of course it's completely just a creative touch from the translators. But other than that, I don't see a problem with it.
Right. Yeah, it definitely feels like when it for me, I do prefer if the voice actor reflects the character that they are voice acting, mostly because it just makes it feel more authentic to me. If anyone has seen, this is like anime video game adjacent, but if anyone has seen the Prince of Persia movie,
the live action one,
the live action,
yep.
They got, I can't remember his name, but they got basically a white dude,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal played the Prince of Persia, and that felt weird to me because I'm like, this is supposed to be a character from Persia, and they got fucking Jake Gyllenhaal up in here. That seems weird. The guy's from Great Britain, I think. This just seems so weird and out of place. And while I was still able to enjoy the movie, it did take me out of it a bit, just because that unbelievableness was so in my face. I was like, this is not what this character should be. For existing characters, I know that there is an issue with notoriety, or being able to recognize it. Where if someone's been voicing a certain character for a long time and they don't match the nationality, I can see why that might be a bigger issue, because it's hard to get rid of a character that people are so familiar with. And then replace it just for the sake of having a different voice actor that maybe matches that character better. Right. But for me, it all comes down to the gameplay experience, and I think it probably improves the experience in both games and anime by getting someone from that region, wherever the character is from, to then voice it. So it just sounds more believable. I know we've all seen our fair share of really bad or terrible moments in anime where in the sub they have a American or a English speaker, a English speaker come over to Japan And in the dub, they got a Japanese person just to say the like English parts. And I mean, it's just not believable to me because I mean, clearly they're not native in that like tongue. They have a strong Japanese accent. It's like clearly this guy is not from like Texas or wherever he's like supposed to be from. I know that like Megalobox, the first season did a good job of that, where they did have an American fighter, and I believe they had an American play it. You know, they had a like American voice actor. He didn't sound Japanese.
Nice.
He sounded American. And that just helped me. You know, that just helped like bring me more more into the like show because I was like taken out of it about being like, oh, this is actually just like a Japanese guy pretending to be American.
Dude, Megalobox is a bop. They even had like, I think they were trying to add like, essentially a Mexican, or not a Mexican, a Spanish character.
Right.
And they actually have like pure Spanish on the person.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of season 2 revolves around like Spanish themes actually, which is pretty fun if you guys haven't
It's
seen it.
really cool.
Yeah,
I'm
it.
a big fan so far.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, if you like sport like animes with like a really cool like twist on them, like Megalobox, what a pop.
Yeah. So for me, that's why I would prefer if characters had the appropriate voice actor. More because it feels like kind of a like cheat to be like, oh well, they can't see them, so you just get anybody anyway. When if it was live action, you wouldn't be able to get away with it so easy. Like I said, probably like Prince of Persia, where it was like immediately obvious, where it's like, bro, that guy is not Persian. That is Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay? That is not the Prince of Persia. That's the Prince of England. Okay, don't go with this shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is my take. Bad Rice, what do you got? I mean, I think we already talked to you a bit, but unless you have another anything else to add to your like previous statements when you were talking with Ray there.
I'm in the same boat where I do completely hate the fact that there are so many like English voice actors in like Japan. Like example is Dog VA. You even have like people who speak both English and Japanese. Joey, the anime man, actually worked on Pop Team Epic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't utilize that, but like that's a source of like talent that can be used to get these English lines out, and they're just not taking advantage of it. And I really do like in my head, if an anime has multiple different characters from like different nationalities, I so badly wish that they would just, instead of having the characters speak like a broken form of Japanese but still seem somewhat fluid, is if they just straight up just had a voice actor in like from, for example, if you're trying to voice a German character, just a voice actor from Germany, or like you're trying to voice like a Spanish character, just a Spanish person speaking, and then them attempting like broken Japanese, because like it just seems so much more authentic, right? To me, the most ideal show that, like, for example, that has a bunch of nationalities is one that requires subtitles. One example is I looked at Valorant, and I'm super upset about one thing about Valorant is that you can't select characters to have voice lines and voice actors from their native countries.
I was just thinking that actually.
It'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
You could have like Korean Jet. You could have like Mexican Reina. You could have like
I was like, why is that person
Brazilian?
speaking English? Why?
Yeah.
Why isn't Jet just speaking Korean? I would totally turn that off.
Also, I would 100% just make fucking Sky not Australian, because her accent is actually just like the worst thing I've ever seen.
I like
And
it.
straight up, what is wrong with you? What is actually wrong with you?
I think it's fun.
And then like Breach, apparently they legit so they tried to like kind of hit a Nordic accent or a Swedish accent, but then they just hired someone who wasn't from there to do the accent. So like stuff like that, just like it bugs me. I wish agents would require subtitles. I wish animes would do the same. Play like actual characters. I do think it's dumb when like it's not that I think it's like completely necessary that like a person be the exact race for it to match a character. I don't think that's like super important, but I do respect the right of someone to like step down from it because sometimes you feel like you're taking away a job from someone who's been appropriated, right? Ideally, like it's not. I think like people say it's like virtue signaling. I think that's the wrong way to look at this. You know, I think that's the wrong side to be standing on because essentially this person is just trying to give another job to someone, and you know, to help support a colored group that probably doesn't receive as much support as you know, Caucasian people do with some voice actor jobs in the West, or like even like an example is looking back at Japan, the fact that you know Japanese actors seem to be taking pretty much all the roles and all the jobs, and even like supplying like English actors. I feel like that is another example of you know a bad decision made by like companies, and you know a bad decision made by like the voice actors when they should you know, step aside and allow like English voice actors to take over those positions. So ideally, I think matching it would be ideal. Again, merits are probably the best way to pick it, but I don't think we should be looking down on people who step down to make room for people.
Yeah, no, for sure. Churro, what do you think?
Okay, so I'm myself. I'm just gonna start off by saying I'm not gonna touch anime. I don't care who they hire. Quite honestly, I don't speak Japanese. I can understand a few sentences here and there, and I can pick out voices, sure. But at the end of the day, whether they hire English actors or not for their anime, I don't care. So I will be talking about. I'll be talking about like voice acting. Over here in North America for like shows and video games, and real life adaptations. I think it's I'm on the same boat as you guys. So it's if it's a Prince of Persia, give me someone brown, right? Simple as that. Simply give me someone from Persia.
Exactly.
Right. It's not that hard. So that's where I'm at for live action, but for voice acting is a little bit different. And here's my reasoning. I don't think that we should be enforcing people of a certain color to voice to represent their own characters, and here's why. And it's not because I don't care who plays them; it's because I do care actually, and I, especially like being a part of a minority group, I actually hate Mexican characters in games. Because they always have accents. Always have accents.
They're like stereotypical. They're like,
because it's stereotypical. And it's like, well, yes, but they're voiced by real Mexicans. Yeah, but yeah, maybe they were, but they don't sound like that when they speak English in real life. They were forced to do the fucking accent. And
So
I
that's
hate
just-
that.
That's just acting, isn't it?
I hate Reina's voice, for example. Whatchamacallit, Spanglish, right? It's a thing in the U.S. sometimes, right? Like some people do speak like mixed English and Spanish, but it bothers me personally. Like it bothers me that I've been told that I don't sound very Mexican. I've been told that I don't look very Mexican. It's like, well, we come in all shapes and colors, right?
Yeah.
And this is my accent, whether I have one or not. I don't really. This is my Mexican accent, like realistically, right?
Yeah.
So for me, when they say when they say should a black actor play a black character, I say, well, what is the character really? Is it a character from the hood that's gonna be Tyrone? Deadbeat gangbanger, right? Is that what we're looking at, or are we looking for someone like Lee Everest, for example, from the Walking Dead series, where it's just a black man that happened to be voiced by a black actor, but it doesn't impact the character. The character's personality isn't to be black.
Yeah, they're being pigeonholed into the role of the black guy.
But basically, like your issue is not exactly the fact that it's a Mexican voice actor voicing a Mexican character. Your biggest
issue is that it's a stereotype.
It's directed towards that. It's
Exactly.
designed by a creator. It's not the voice actor themselves having to,
Like-
having that specific accent. It's basically a director who has made this cultural decision to force an accent upon a character. And you just gave an example of a good voice actor. In a good situation where he was directed properly, he was a black character voiced by a black voice actor, and there was, you wouldn't be able to tell otherwise, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's where my problem comes in, because it is different from like an English accent, right? Like an American accent, an accent from the UK, and an accent from Australia. Everybody's first language English. It just so happens that where the region they come from, they speak English differently, right? They have a certain type of accent that's prominent in that region. That's fine. It is in every language. I can guarantee it. Every language has their dialects. Whenever I meet someone from Colombia or anywhere else in Latin America, they have an accent to me, right? I have a Mexican accent. They have a Spanish accent of a different kind, right?
Right.
But when it seems to me that when there's interracial actors or characters in an English speaking role, it's very prominent that they have an accent because of their first language. And now I stand here being like, well, I have a first language. I don't think I have that thick of an accent, but like maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I have the thick of an accent. I don't think I definitely have the traditional Mexican accent, right? I definitely don't think that. And I think it's really, it's infuriating almost that our characters, like if it's a black man, it has to sound like Tyrone from the Hood, or like you know what I mean? Like it has to sound very stereotypical black. It has to sound very stereotypical Asian. It has to sound very stereotypical Spanish, whatever the case may be, right? And I think I want to just give a shout out, because I wasn't here last week. I want to give a shout out to Invincible for having a very wonderful cast. In case you don't know, Invincible, it's played by Steven Yeun, an Asian American actor. His mom is played by Sandra Oh, another Asian American actors. And Omni-Man is played by the guy that always won Spider-Man pictures. So right there, we see like a variety of casts just within that family, right? We see two Asian actors and we see a white actor, and they're all voiced, I think, very, very good. Like there is no forcefulness to it, right? They sound like an Asian that grew up in America would sound like.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have an Asian accent. They don't have any of the stereotypical like qualities that you know, like they're kind of really forced upon us, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I don't like. I'll leave it at this. I don't care who voices the characters themselves, because I think that every color and every race comes in different shapes and sizes, and in different accents are just everywhere, right? So for me, when I see a black man voice a white character, when I see a white woman voice a black woman, or whatever it may be, whatever the case may be, and they voice them really well, really genuinely, without focusing on the race as the central attention to their character, I think it's fine, because we're breaking a barrier that's permeating accents, really. Like, you're Mexican, you have to have this accent. You're Asian, you have to have this accent. That's my biggest issue, and that's why I don't care who voices them.
Yeah.
Okay, but like,
that's a
what
very
if
fair take.
what if the studio wanted a very, a specific accent? Like, for example, let's look at
If
Astra.
they did want
and-
Tyrone from the
Yeah. What if they wanted, a very authentic African accent, like a Ghanaian accent from like Astra is a good example, right? She has a very, very appropriate accent. They found a very appropriate voice actor.
I think
And
that's
at that point, what if we have a white actress who's emulating it versus a naturally formed accent, right?
Right. Obviously, at that case, like a natural accent would be the best, right? I'm just saying that in a lot of games, where accents don't serve a purpose, that's when the issue comes in, right? Like in GTA, for example, you do want Tyrone from the Hood, you do want those Los Spanglish, like Cholo Mexicans, because that's what they're portraying,
I mean, it's
right?
also like in terms of like if you're referring to Los Santos, that was because it's all in LA, right?
Yeah,
In LA County,
exactly.
so that's where they were from, right? So they already.
So my issue comes in where you have things like now disclaimer here, I fucking love Speedy Gonzalez, but when you have things like Speedy Gonzalez, right? Like when you have you're portraying a Mexican community and everybody has a fucking thick accent.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you're portraying something like for example, there's some cartoons that I know my sister used to watch, Dora the Explorer, for example, right? Like why does she have a very, very thick accent? I understand that she's trying to teach Spanish, but she doesn't need an accent to do so. Right? When you're portraying things like that, that's when I have an issue. It's like when you're portraying um, a Mexican character in an otherwise serious movie. For example, The Walking Dead. In season 1, there are Spanish characters with very thick accents that otherwise I wouldn't have known had they were Spanish.
Right.
They are a shade of brown, sure, but because they force them in that direction, it's very clear cut, right? And it's just like they it doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to portray them so stereotypical to get the message across.
Well said, man.
Yeah, no, definitely a very good take. I mean, yeah, that's a thing that I think it plagues a lot of the entertainment industry where, they're like, oh, we want an Asian character. They're like, okay, this is how I talk. And they're like, no, we want like an Asian character. And they're like, oh, I gotta put the accent like they're fresh off the boat, and it's like, come on, what the fuck? Which I mean is interesting because like with Valorant, I know you mentioned you didn't like Reina because she's got that like traditional kind of stereotypical like, hey, she's from like Mexico, she has this like Spanish mix of English and Spanish in there, and got the thick accent. And we were also talking about how it would be nice if we could switch Jet to to have her actually speak like Korean, when really, I mean, English Jet could still be like.
She could still be Korean.
Yeah.
She doesn't sound. She doesn't have a heavy accent.
Yeah, exactly.
So why does Reina? Why does Reyes?
Yeah.
Why is it that and this is something that actually does bother me. Why is it that hashtag Asian, like Stop Asian Hate is trending, and like but nobody ever speaks about Spanish, right? Like and like we do get shafted very often in the industry. Right? Like Louise from fucking Ant-Man. Right? Like that's as stereotypical as they come.
Yeah.
That's Marvel.
Yeah.
Wait, did you just say like Stop Asian Hate was weird?
Yeah,
and
fuck,
shafting of-
fuck. Hashtag good stuff. No, I'm just kidding. It's I understand. Like you do come to the aid of one, and racism has been a topic of that's gaining a lot of momentum lately, and I do sympathize very heavily with the Black community, with the Asian community. Me myself being a minority. I'm just saying that the way that we stop racism is by not putting race at the forefront of things, right? It's by not being like, this character's Black, therefore we should make the voice actor Black, right? Like it's forgetting about like those kinds of barriers. It's stop saying things like Black, brown, Asian, right? And we're all people here, and that's how we stop racism, is by looking at others as people rather than the color of their skin.
Amen.
Nice.
That is a ice cold take there. Gonna say that is a cold take, dude. I mean, who doesn't know that? I mean, I would. I mean, I guess there's tons of crazy people out there, but definitely well said. But finally, we're gonna move off to our last speaker here, Kazo. What do you got? I mean, that was quite the like very nice take from like Churro. But now you got to follow it up. So what do you got?
I really don't. It was such like that was such a moving piece of like what Thicc Churro said, and to the point where it's like I agree wholeheartedly about everything like he says. Though it's like as long as you're able to pretty much appreciate the value and not pretty much stereotype that sort of like that cultural role, then it's all good for that reason. Though they have to make it so that like you know what, it's acceptable on all fronts. Though, my biggest gripe would be like from Tekken 7, for instance. We have a Filipino character, Josie Rizal, right? The only Filipino character in Tekken, right? Over for like at least represented like faithfully, somewhat in terms of like you know the looks, the aesthetics. But then when you have the voice, it's just all American. So, but then again, you know what? When I think back at it, I mean, or especially since like you know when people put in the Filipino accents in, people assume like you know they just pretty much portray it as like Manny Pacquiao accent, like really thick, heavy, just like. Yeah, it's pretty bad, you know. Like someone just came like fresh off the boat type of thing, and that's what people be associated with that. But then, it's enough to have it just, you know, I'd rather just keep it as like faithful as you can by make it native as to the Filipino culture, not just some random kid who just grew up in like who I don't know, I guess who grew up in America and be like, yes, I'm Filipino, represent. We got to be a little bit more to it than that. But anything beyond that, though. It's all well said though from what Thicc Churro said, and yeah, kudos to you, man. I'm still speechless of what you said. I was ready to stand up for you. I was like, yo, hashtag Mexican.
I'm a fucking bimbo being like, oh yes, the authenticity. Churro's like, fuck that shit, dude. You don't even know what that is. I'm thinking like, oh god.
Oh,
sometimes people from other cultures sound different. Who knew?
Right, and
That's
and like
big brain.
and like there's nothing wrong with what you guys said, right? I didn't mean anything like that. Obviously, there are instances where portrayal of stereotypical characters matter. As I gave an example already, GTA 5. I think it's very important that there is stereotypes there because that's what they're trying to portray, right? It's when they're trying to do so in a serious manner where it doesn't have place. That's the biggest issue, right? It's kind of like what Gerard he said, right? Like you have a Filipino character in a fighting game. Why does she have such a thick accent, right? Why is it going to the way of Manny Pacquiao? Why couldn't it be a Filipino character? You know, because I don't think Gerard sounds anything like his accent is Filipino to me. It's just as Filipino as any other accent,
doesn't sound like Manny Pacquiao?
Right?
Wait, what? Did I just hear myself?
I can say that because I'm Filipino too.
Right, but that's what I mean. Is well, there's all kinds of accents in all kinds of cultures. And
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a slight interesting tidbit is about the Ghost of Tsushima. I keep talking about this game.
Let's go.
I'm gonna find an excuse to bring it up every podcast. But there was some Twitter drama, as there always is, about this game. You know, Twitter's always mad about something. They're mad about Ghost specifically because it was made by an American company, and of course, the entire plot revolves around historical Japanese. It's set in feudal Japan when the Mongols attack, and they're like, "This is cultural appropriation. You know, you guys have basically stolen this shit from like Japan. You know, a bunch of white guys shouldn't be making this show." But one, it was well received by Japanese audiences, and two, if you look into it, actually all the characters that do any kind of voice acting are Japanese. And not just like stereotypical not just like you know like the like stereotypical Japanese, but like people who grew up in America as well. You know, you have people that are from Japan, but also that came to America, grew up there.
Right.
I mean, they did their research. You know, they definitely did their like checks and balances on this game. It feels like nothing feels like they were, you know, taking the stereotype or taking, you know, some sort of dumb trope about like Japanese people into this game. And I guess it shows that, like, yeah, to build on Thicc Churro's point, it doesn't really matter like that's necessarily where you're like from. You can definitely like pull it off, even if you're not like the typical Japanese, you know, with your like super accent or like you're not Tyrone from the hood or whatever. As long as what you're doing is like respectable and good to the audience and to the character. I think there's a lot of leeway there, but I don't know if this is really a thing we can solve by ourselves. Because I mean, this is a whole network of shit that has a lot of strands poking everywhere else. All I know is fuck Jake Gyllenhaal. Don't make the sequel.
Also, fuck whoever the actor is for Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah, dude, fuck that shit too.
Fuck that guy, yeah.
I know in chat earlier they mentioned Ghosts in the Shell, and I don't know how to feel about that one. I would have liked if the cast was Japanese, since it is a show set in Japan with Japanese characters, and then they got fucking Scarlett Johansson up in here. I'm like, you know.
Apparently, the director itself, or at least the one who wrote the story into itself, that it's she's a machine. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, yeah. So at that point, it doesn't mean that they have to be.
Machine.
Yeah. Well, it is. Yeah. So the point is, it doesn't have to be like portrayed as an Asian, even though it was like it's just because it's a machine. But I mean, to all the faithful anime enthusiasts, be like, no, Asian.
Yeah, I mean,
like rewrite.
The original character was like Japanese, which
right.
I mean, I guess it like depends on how much you want to stick to like the source material.
Yeah.
You guys aren't gonna like my take on the Attack on Titan live action. How I think it should be casted, because I think Eren should be white and German. Yeah. And I think Mikasa should be Asian. I think it should be casted appropriately. I don't think it should be fucking Asian. Because obviously there are no fucking blonde Asians in fucking all of fucking Asia.
Oh, yeah, what about that guy on the gift there? He's blonde.
Actually, I think like isn't Attack on Titan like there's only like 2 Asian people in the whole like anime?
Yeah.
Right?
They're like special, right?
Yeah, they're special.
They should get white people who are German or like German looking in terms of, you know, European that speak Japanese to do the live action or some shit like that. That'd be so dope. I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, aside from I haven't seen it, but I've heard that like the Mulan remake was like terrible. But it seems like studios are maybe moving strides in this direction, where like yes, the like cast was Chinese, which it is set in China. You know, props there. You know, I like when and this is I guess specific to like live action shows. Yeah. I like when my live action actors actually look like the character that they're supposed to be like portraying, right? At least with like anime, they can hide behind a character because they can make them look what they want. But yeah, same. Like I watched the Full Metal Alchemist live action. Terrible, by the way. Don't just skip it. But you know, I would have liked if that show was had a bunch of German people speaking Japanese. You know, because I mean that show is I mean it's inspired by like Europe, right? I mean
by the alchemy.
And like Edward Alphonse, like Elric, those are not Japanese names, so it sounds more like European names. Yeah. So.
But if you want a good live action movie with a good cast, Bleach. The
Bleach
live
was good.
Right, it was. And I think it was well casted too.
Same, yeah. So I mean there's something for everyone out there. But I believe we're gonna bring our podcast to an end.
Oh, already?
We're gonna be wrapping it up. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man, that's our time.
Oh,
that's our time for
time flies
tonight. But I will pass it off to Kazo to wrap things up and send us off.
Well, thank you guys. Basically, all together, as pretty much we've been covering a lot of like topics. Even though I mean we had a lot more going on, but the fact that certain topics had pretty much a lot of fire into it that pretty much we're gonna be like talking in between. So for that though, I appreciate my brothers out here, Ichi, Bad Rice, Thicc Churro, and Offbeat here for pretty much putting in their insight and giving us a lot of good like insight for all things considered. And to all you guys watching though, thank you guys for tuning in though. For those, especially for those who spent most of their channel points just to get me doing like 80 push-ups.
100 actually.
Was it 100 bed? Oh shoot, I need to do that now. Okay,
Oh.
I'm 20 short. Shoot. Okay, I will get to that later in a bit though. But you know, thank you guys for pretty much also sending in all the channel points just to pretty much get things going though. Much love to you guys, and as well, yeah. That being said, if you want to take a look pretty much for more information about where you can reach us, my name's Kazo. Pretty much you can find me at Twitter, YouTube, pretty much all the rest of the socials, and especially from Discord at Ichi Gaming. So we'll pass it on to Ichi. Where can we find you, sir?
Well, you can find me trying to stream some Nintendo Switch games when I'm finally not super busy at work. You can find me at Reichi1 on Twitch. I'm also hanging out the Ichi Gaming Discord site, so you can also go and chat with me there. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. And Bad Rice, do I still have to ask you?
No,
Or- Got
we're
it.
good.
Got it. Got it.
Moving on.
Thicc Churro, where can we find you, sir?
You can find me at Twitch TV Thicc_Churro. I've been filling up some Call of Duty zombies this weekend, probably.
Ooh.
You know, throwing it back, some classic Kino der Taten. But you can also find me at Twitch TV/Silver Kestrel Studios, where I do a bunch of D&D, and I'm doing it on Saturday night, actually.
Beauty.
So, if you're interested in some Dungeons and Dragons, that's where I'll be.
Awesome. Look forward to it. And last but not least, our MTG champion, Oppie here. Say what's up, man. Where can we find you?
What's up? You can find me at twitch.tv/offbeathero. We'll be streaming some games of Magic this weekend. Actually, I'm taking place in the Mana Traders monthly tournament. They're playing Modern, which is my main format. There is a 10 grand prize pool. First place gets 4 grand, so we're gonna try to go for the win. You can
Damn.
find me on YouTube underneath the same name. But also, you can find me streaming tomorrow as well, where I'll be casting some games from our local Valorant League as well.
Let's
as
go.
on another channel. So you'll see me both behind the desk and behind the keyboard tomorrow at 6:30 Mountain Time. So
Beauty.
Casting the late
come
game?
say hi.
I think I might be casting after you, Derek.
Okay, yeah, I'm casting the early game. Casting the match between Green Team and Jenny's Angles, which Bad Rice happens to be a part of. The formerly named Green Team.
That's right.
Ooh.
So you can come around and shit talk his terrible aim.
Let's go. Oh man, I love to trash talk. But that being said, though, these are my brothers, my family, and basically the F tier podcast. So, if anything else, though, remember you got nothing to fear when you're at the bottom because there's no fear in F tier. Take care, guys.
Later.
Alright, for those of you guys watching though, I missed out my last 24 from the Twitch stream itself, so I figured, you know what, I'm a man of my word and I don't want to let my fans down at the very least, especially when they pretty much drop their channel points on me. So I'm going to do the last 20, and to pretty much count me down is my partner in crime, Reichi.
I got you, bruh.
Alright, let's do it.
Alright. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You got your 20.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'm definitely adding up more money for the channel points. I'm making it 2,500 or something. Alright, take care guys. Peace out.
Later.